Hello, world. Hello, world. Yes, as the world has now known, Diddy was denied bail. According to testimony from the parties you have to watch and hear, they initially thought that he should have received bail. Unfortunately, he was not. Listen to the testimony of the following guests and let me know what you think. Do you agree on the sentence he may get or may not get?
You put your hand up, I think.
No, I'm following him. I'm loving what he's saying. But I did have a question, and I wish I could have asked one of the attorneys, but I could ask you guys. You guys are definitely have been around for quite some time and have seen some things. And interestingly enough, Mr. Sammy, as you knowing about RICOs or whatnot, I was wondering, had they not granted immunity to Diddy's so-called co-defendants, then I believe the whole RICO Act could have stuck, because all they had to do was incriminate Cassie alongside with him when she's putting together these freak-offs as well. Like you said, as you just spoke of, Sammy, her coming back after the incident in the hotel and saying, hey, you know, this is that. But when are we going to get back to what we normally do, our regularly scheduled programming with the freak-offs? Now, at that moment, it raised a lot of concerns for me, because I said, I wonder, at that moment, was that the moment she began plotting?
That's a really interesting question. In other words, I do. So, Sammy, I think you understood it very quickly, but what he's saying is that was she basically covering her own potential criminal exposure by going after Diddy the way she did? She then couldn't become herself part of a wider RICO charging.
Right, and you testified. In other words, we used John Gotti. John Gotti got indicted. I was the underboss. I got indicted as well. No matter what I said, I was RICO as well. So they too could understand the RICO. Now there was captains and lower level guys who were in the family. They were all getting indicted. That's RICO. You're after the whole organization. It's not a single person. That's not a RICO.
Exactly.
Not one man. He's not a whole organization.
And do you think maybe, Sammy, that Cassie Ventura, as young Joc is suggesting, she may have seen the way it was all going and thought, I better get in here and protect myself. And if I accuse him and get immunity, I can't then get caught up in any wider charging.
Probably. And then you take, a lot of women now in some of these cases that are coming up. Years ago, you had the Me Too movement. Women had a tough time to survive. Then it changed with the Me Too movement, and then they became more aggressive. Now they come out doing things, and then they want to sue. So it's about money. And then they want to testify and put the guy in prison besides. So you have, from one extreme, we went to another extreme. Because she's a woman, we got to believe her. Even though she was part of the whole thing, she had these love letters and notes. I mean, he didn't, he beat her up one time in the hallway. That was a mistake. He lost his temper. He could have hit her and beat her worse. He was frustrated. He did what he did. That's a crime. He could have been on that one particular crime or certain things, but not everything that they brought against him, and it failed. It failed.
It definitely failed. Young Joc, I interviewed Big Homie a few days ago, and he said this.
I know if he walks, I'm going to be target number one, which is fine. I'm used to that. It's kind of exciting for me.
He left the country, left America, Big Homie, Diddy's former bodyguard, because he believes that Diddy may exact some kind of revenge on him. What do you feel about that?
Well, I think that he's worried because maybe he was lying to hurt Diddy.
Right.
And now Diddy's going to get out, and he's got a problem. But the guy you had on just before, he's walking around. He was a government witness. He told the truth. He's not worried about Diddy. This guy, maybe what he said and did, he was lying, and he has a conscience. He's worried about Diddy coming out, and he's got money, and maybe he's worried about his health right now.
Young Joc, what do you think of that?
I definitely could see his concerns. You know what I'm saying? And Sammy, even if let's say he didn't lie. Let's say he didn't lie. The fact that he's given up all of this information, which some of this information is kind of like, you know, what if it wasn't really this bad, but because I'm giving up this particular information, it makes it look that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll give you a perfect example. If something happened between two adults in a single space, and it's just two adults, it's bad, right? We saw the video where he and Cassie, this fight. Everybody talk about the video. It was bad, right?
And he has done it. He had.
But had a child been present, that would make it even worse, right?
10 times worse.
So what I'm saying is, so Big Homie may have been giving up certain information that made these scenarios appear to be even worse. You know what I'm saying? It's just like right now, if you talked about murder, let's say murder happened at night. You kind of expect it to happen at night. But when people say it happened in broad daylight, it amplifies, it magnifies the whole overall situation. So I think Big Homie probably said some things that may have made situations worse that he didn't have to say, you know, embellishing somewhere. And the moment you embellish the truth, as Sammy said, it's a lie. So I agree with you on that. And I just know that, you know, some people, when you've run with certain people, when you've run with certain people and you know what they could be capable of, or you've realized what they've gotten away with, then you know you might be in clear and present danger. Not saying Diddy's going to be coming out trying to do anything to anybody. I'm pretty sure right now, all he wants to do is get back to his safe place, take a shower in his own tub, get back to his kids, and try to get back to his regularly scheduled programming. But we all know as adults that the regularly scheduled programming will definitely be edited, to say the least.
And also, I mean, I would say,
it's not going to be the same thing.
And young Joc, I mean, this is going to have a profound effect, this case, on the whole world of music, isn't it? And in particular, hip hop and rap and everything. I mean, isn't this going to change people's behavior probably irrevocably?
I think so. And I think it's for the better, though, Piers. Let me say this, because for one, I think that you opened the eyes to a lot of possibilities. Now, first and foremost, let's say that. So for one, let's say a guy who's been emulating the same behavior for however long, he ain't seeing nothing wrong with it. Like, man, I'm a boss. I'm not bringing. I like to do freaky stuff with my lady. And when I go to these cities, I can't just have anybody pulling up. So I'm gonna go with someone who I've already taken through a vetting process. We've gotten to know this person. We've done business with them, having issues. So you continue to do business with this person. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, how do we get into a place where it's no longer prostitution or sex trafficking? Because this is the person I like, but I want to make sure they're compensated for their time. Because if you take a woman in and you say, hey, I'm gonna take care of you, and all you gotta do is come and be a kept woman, is that not prostitution or is that constitution? It's associated costs with it. So I think there's a lot of things, and the fact that he wasn't found guilty on those, then this may help in the future, because it kind of comes off like a cheat sheet, because now they don't have this situation of case law that they can reference back to and find people like other celebrities that you spoke of who may be living a kind of similar lifestyle. Right. You know, you fly a chick in, you might not be paying for sex, but there's a cost involved. That's why I said constitute and not a prostitute.
Yes. Because
if you do it for a fee, then it's professionally done, so it's a professional prostitute.
Yes.
If you just do it for a cause, you know, right now, if I take you out to eat, baby, I'm not giving you the money directly for sex, but if we end up having sex later that night, it's almost like I gave you money for sex indirectly.
Yeah. Sammy, how long do you think Diddy's going to get in prison for? I mean, there's a maximum of 10 years on both counts of bringing prostitutes across state lines. Very unlikely he gets that. What do you think he'll end up with?
But here's what I think is going to happen. I think the judge is going to give him bail. He beat the serious charges. He was in almost a year. He was packing up to turn himself in when they told him he was going to be arrested. The cops jumped the gun and arrested him, so he didn't run the first time. And I think the charges are not that extreme. He deserves bail unless they want to, overdo it because of the publicity. He deserves bail. He'll have some conditions. And I think if the judge gives him bail, they're not going to double up those sentences, like 10 years on one, 10 years on the other one, running concurrently. The judge is following the law. He probably won't do that. He may give him a flat 10 on the whole thing. And if he doesn't give him bail, which he deserves right now, then he's probably going to double those 10s up. And he might wind up with 20. That almost tells you what the judge is thinking and what's going to happen, in my opinion.
But could he get a much smaller sentence? I mean, 10's the maximum. Could it be? I mean, it doesn't seem on the face of it that it's a very serious conviction.
But it'll embarrass the judge, the whole country, the legal system. They're going to push for at least a 10 or something like that. They want to get their hunk. They can't walk away. They're already disgraced. They don't want to walk away totally disgraced. And even if he gets 5 or 8 year sentence and he's in a year already, he'll do another 5 or something. And this time when he goes in prison, he's going to be fine. He's going to have guys who want to protect him because he's got money, take care of him, whatever. So he'll be fine all the way around. And but it's up to the judge what he does with this bail.
Right.
He deserves a bail. I think most people would give him a bail. He don't face a lot of time. He's been in the can. He hasn't done anything wrong. The jury spoke, and the charges are bullshit.